Okay.
Another episode of
Another
Typology
welcome,
Odyssey.
welcome everybody. Let me just check something. Okay. I need to have like a million tabs open, you know, because I'm multitasking, checking this stream, checking that stream. Okay. 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 Um.
Hey Melly, what's up?
Yeah, what's up, Melly?
Nice to see you
Damn,
again.
Melly, it's you again. I keep seeing you on the stream. It's like you're like a resident. You're like almost like a subscriber, which you are obviously.
Hey Deepest Shade, nice to see you. Of course
Okay,
not,
Deepest
Melly.
Shay. What's up, Deepest
You
Shay?
you're
And
just part of the community.
she, Deepest Shay told me she's gonna be here, so she kept her promise. Is that wrong, Mally? Of course, it's not wrong. Don't ever think it is wrong, okay? And the Rusted Nation, it's not wrong. It's actually good. It's actually very fucking good.
Nice. We see Professor Somebody and V too.
Okay, even V. Oh my god. V, is that you? What happened to you, bro? You okay? I'm kidding. So guys, question for everyone: how was your New Year party? What did you guys do? Did you guys have fun? How do you feel about the new year? Didn't celebrate. Wow. Okay. Things didn't go as well in my area. Whoa. Why? Why didn't they go as well? Like so well? Why? V is depressed right now. That's not good, man. It's a new year. It's a new year. Why be depressed in a new year, you know? Oh my god.
Yeah, everything that happened in 2024, it ends now. Everything is
Yeah.
new because a day changed. You have a whole new year to do everything new, and
Yeah.
nothing from last year counts anymore. That's old.
You know what they say, right? New you, me, new you, new you, new me. Some bullshit like that. So let me see. Well, like guys, I actually met an SP8 on a party.
No way. A non-criminal
I didn't tell you
SPA?
shit. I didn't tell you anything about this. But okay. Now, this is true story. This is true. You won't believe it. This is true story. I was on this party with 12 people. I've never met them. Obviously, you know this part. Once I'm there, I'm obviously it was me, like and my wife and someone else, right? So 3 people just came to the person. First thing that I was like, this apartment is very small. There's 12 fucking people, and I'm not sure how the fuck are we gonna dance there. But I was there, and I'm like, okay, cool. Then there's this guy. And the SP8 was actually the guy who invited us to his house. So he's the owner of the house. I've never met him before. But I start. He has a setup, right? Like a huge screen. Behind that huge screen, he has those like 2 screens, right? So he's like set up. He has a fucking gaming PC. He has a controller from
Yo,
PlayStation.
he's real for that.
He's
Yo,
real
I
for
like
that.
this guy.
So I can see because he's playing like on the big screen. He has it plugged into his PC, so I can see everything he's doing, right? And he's using Spotify. Then I see San Andreas, GTA fucking San Andreas, and I'm like, I ask him, bro, how do you have fucking GTA San Andreas? You play that shit? He's like, yeah, of course I play that shit. And I'm like, tell me about GTA 6. And he's like, yeah, I've been waiting on that shit. I'm waiting on that shit all the time. They were supposed to, and I'm like, bro, we're brothers. The fuck? I'm waiting on that shit too. So we start talking, and it's so insane. Like, it's the level of insanity. I saw his YouTube. You know how his YouTube account and his fucking like playlist and the music he was listening to was exactly the same as I did. Exactly the same. I'm like, bro, we listen to the same shit and we like the same shit. This is absolutely fucking insane. So before you know it, people are saying, well, look at them, they're having bromance, you know? Never met the guy before, but we already have bromance. So people at the party were kind of laughing at that shit because we were like, bro, yeah, you know, like. Then we were like, we can start playing. We can play 2-pack. We actually did play 2-pack, but the ladies did not appreciate that shit. They were like, we're not into the fucking 2-pack. All eyes on me, you know. Like, shit. So we had to change the tempo. But he's like, it's okay. Once everyone's drunk, we will come here. We're gonna be the DJ. And I'm like, yeah, fucking sounds like a good plan. But basically, long story short, it was so weird. 12 people, right? There was me and 2 other dudes, and including him, right? Like, and then he. So it's like 4 other dudes overall. But there was a time where he was getting drunk, and he nearly, like, he was getting confrontational with one of the guys. Like, and this guy was like an ILI. Like, I swear to God, I believe he was an ILI. I was talking to him, and we talked a lot of shit, and I do think he was an ILI. So I'm just sitting on the couch, you know, like they're like 2 meters away from me, and I'm just observing, because I'm looking, because I see this SP8's body language change. You know, his arms are wide, and he's kind of puffing his chest, and he's looking with his eyes, drunk as fuck. He's looking at the guy, and he's fucking pissed. So he thinks this ILI guy stole his Pepsi, because he was about to leave, and he was taking Pepsi, and this SP8 guy thought he was taking his shit, right? So I'm like, oh man, I'm just observing, because I'm like, there might be Snap City, okay? And if there is, I need to save the fucking situation, because this ILI is gonna get snapped in half. But I'm observing. Boy. Yeah, I'm observing. Everything is okay. The situation kind of calmed down, but I kind of talked to this guy. I'm like, yo, you know, and talk to this SP. I'm like, he sat down near me, and I'm like, bro, you're acting, you know, you're fucking being aggressive. You know, I don't know what's up with you. Like, you're acting out. You're looking to beat up someone on the fucking party. And mind you, I was the most sober. 12 people. I was the most sober. Okay? 12. I had 2 margaritas, sober as fuck still. So I was kind of the guy who's making sure no one gets snapped. I was learning people's secrets. I found out about his childhood. I found out about the other motherfucker's childhood. I knew everything. Okay? They confided in me. Just like that. Therapist, 1 day of work. Actually, 3 hours of work. And boom, right? So we kind of bonded. He kind of was like, yeah, I'm trying, you know. He was very 3E. His fucking childhood, everything. It was fucked up. But we got along really well. In the end, I'm like, yo, I need to go, because the fucking Uber is here. You know? I need to fucking go. And he starts packing fucking weed. And I'm like, bro, fuck. So you don't need to do that shit, you know? Like, don't need to give me weed. He's like, you know my address. You know where I live. Let's fucking party, you know? That's literally, that was the end of the interaction. Like, literally, we became like buddies. He's like, I'll give you free fucking weed. Like, this guy will give you everything. Like, he's like, I want people to have fun. But if he thinks that you are stealing shit or taking advantage of him, or you're not direct with him, he's gonna stop being all fucking weird and like suspicious and shit, you know? So the way I got him to relax was I was very direct. I was blunt, you know? I wasn't scared of him. I wasn't really intimidated. I was just like, you know, when he was kind of doing his like macho shit, I was just like, you know, it's cool. I was listening to it. But I was very direct and very honest, and I tried to connect with him, which made him feel maybe more at ease, you know? So that's my story, and I nearly got fucked up. Yeah, it was a fucking funny story. Anyway, I'm rambling for too way fucking long. Wait, okay. Sorry guys.
No, it was a good story.
But during that whole fucking time, I was thinking to myself, bro, I will never type myself sexual late, because the whole thing, my whole purpose in that party was sitting and making sure everything is okay. You know, I was the dude that this SP8 is not gonna snap some other motherfucker, okay? That he relaxes, that he can fucking actually chill out and not act so antagonistic to everyone fucking else. Another chick came in, and she's like, she asks me, right, where's my drink? And I'm like, I don't know where your fucking drink is, you know? I don't know what you fucking do with that shit. And she's like, oh yeah, well, I don't want someone to drag my drink. And I'm like, nobody is gonna drag your drink. It's there's no one's gonna do this here. Like, it's a small party, relax. And then I'm like, don't worry, like, I'll make sure you won't get fucking drugged, okay? Like, don't worry. I'm the sober one, and I'm gonna make sure everything is fucking okay on this party. But I was thinking, Jesus Christ, if I was the sexual aid, I would be the degenerate. I'd be the degenerate who's like shaking his fucking ass and shit. I was the guy who was making sure everything is fucking okay, because the situation was escalating. Anyway, that's my story, guys. Let me see.
And it's an entertaining story. I was gonna say that we'll get some feedback that your mic is a little bit lower than mine. Maybe you can turn yourself up a little bit.
My mic is lower. Okay, give me a second. Okay, guy, now? Yes, now it should be fine. I'm gonna, okay, now, oh, yeah. Oh, man, this is gonna be very painful for your ears, guys. Very painful. Okay, okay, let me read some more stuff. Let's get the conversation going. Is healthy, I like which Enneagram? I don't know, I'm not sure. Maybe like in social 5 or maybe, it's fine because I'm a criminal SP8. Oh my god. Guys, I'm trying to break the fucking stereotypes, and then yeah, I'm trying to
they do it, bro.
Bro, I'm trying to break the stereotypes, and then SP8 comes like, I'm actually a fucking criminal SP8, shit, been to prison, everything, like
I'm a rebel.
fuck, But how did I know he was an SP8? In this story, initially I'm like, oh, maybe he's something else, but what really stood out was his energy once he was getting more drunk. And also FI vulnerable as fuck. Like blueprint. He kind of told me, people try to take advantage of me. They take your stuff. They think they can take more of your stuff. And I'm not going to let people disrespect me like that. I'm going to confront the situation and I'm going to fucking solve it. And you need to be a man. And if he just admitted to it, I would be okay with it. And just a lot of, he was posturing a lot. He was kind of... it's clear he saw me as his equal, which is, power dynamics are so funny, but if you're observing, you can see it, the way they talk to you. He saw me as the one in the group who was his equal. I was able to, because he sat with me and he opened up to me. He saw me as his equal. But the others, he was talking shit. He's like, look at them. There was an IE on the party. There's a fucking IE. And he's like, look at those fucking clowns, look at the jokes that they have, fucking... It's bullshit. They don't know what it's like to suffer. They don't know what it's hard, to have a hard fucking life. All they do is whine. And I'm like, I don't know where the fuck this came from, but
yeah, I was like, you did he invite these people over?
He did invite these people over.
Yo, what was the end goal with this one?
The angle was like, I don't think he ever met them before. The guys, he never met them.
Okay, I see.
So I tried to tell him, I did this psychological shit. I'm like, listen, I understand how you feel, okay? But you need to understand one thing. You cannot measure those guys or people overall to the same standard that you live up to, right? So like, maybe you're tough, maybe you're strong, maybe you get over shit. But it doesn't mean that they will be able to do the same things, because they're very fucking different. You cannot expect that shit from them. So I'm kidding you, the guy looked down and he's like, fuck. What the fuck? That's true. Like the guy had like fucking enlightenment. I'm like, damn, I should be charging for this shit, But to me, the FI vulnerable shit, the SC base, like, okay, guys, he gave us, so he gave us something to drink. He sat us down, right? He's like, you're gonna fucking sit down now. And I'm like, yeah, okay. And then he gave us shit to drink. And he's like, now you will sober up. And after this, we will get you fucked up properly. Now, you'll party until you're dead and you fucking, right? Until you just collapse. That was his plan. And I'm like, yeah, I'm not sure with this shit, I'm not sure we're gonna go there. Okay, let me see. Enough about my story. Jesus Christ.
It's a fun story, but we're still getting feedback that your mic is a lot lower than mine. Maybe you're gonna have to turn me down? I'm not sure.
Still?
Yeah.
Who the fuck keeps saying that though? I feel like
Veronica says that. We could trust Veronica.
Okay. I'm gonna lower your volume.
Yes.
And I'm gonna increase mine. Okay. Okay.
Testing.
Sure. You wanna hear my voice so much in your ear, you ASMR loving motherfuckers. No problem. No problem.
Yeah, it's better now. Veronica says we're good.
Okay. 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 Let me see what people are saying. Sexual 6 2L is fucking cursed. Do you think in EII can be social can you think in EII can be social sexual? I mean, I can see why people would think it's weird, but I don't think it's like Okay, I'll be honest with you. If you are an EII and you think you relate to social, right, and then you relate to sexual for more than self-preservation for, I'm not gonna stop you. I'm not gonna stop you. I'm not gonna fight with you. Okay, if you genuinely relate, I can understand why people would say, well, EII should relate to social and then self-preservation, because those are the only two subtypes that they can be. So logically, that's likely what the fuck they will relate to. But this is pseudoscience, right? What do you think about that, Ring? Anyway, that like EII social sexual thing.
I was just thinking an example, right? The blueprint, like social 4, the Sigma blueprint social 4, isn't that the Joker from the Solo movie? I'm pretty
And
sure
he
his
is a
second
social
subtype
sexual.
would be,
Yeah, he is.
he would absolutely be a social sexual. Now, of course, he's an unhealthy case, but I really think that that's fine. I think we'll be really fucking pulling a lot of stops for no reason. It's fine. Honestly, your second subtype, and especially for following Naranjo, it barely fucking matters. Be real with you.
Yeah, that's why people are so. I used to do this too. I'm like, oh my god, it doesn't fucking matter, man. Don't worry about that. You know, don't worry about that.
If you're worrying about your second subtype in Naranjo, you're so much in the end game, you're bored. You just need something else to do. You're looking for that additional 2% of value.
What about SE? I don't see it. People think it's this emotional manipulation, which is very FI creative. It's so weird. It's so weird. They're literally, they are like the conquerors of groups, and I guess that must make them FI creative. This, social 2 is a rigid. Okay. Social 2 is more similar to Enneagram 1 than people realize. It's even compared to Enneagram 1 in the book of the Social 2. Do you believe that a fucking SCE, his most fucking similar type would be Enneagram fucking 1? Social 2 is a rigid type. Planning type. This is not just, oh, fucking, look at me. I'm swinging my dick everywhere. I do whatever I want. I don't think about the future. Fuck that. I'm just amazing like this. This is not the social 2. It's so silly. It's created by people who don't know shit. It's created by PDB lovers. And I know, because sometimes I am on PDB, and then I see someone saying, ha, it's SCE social 2. PDB doesn't know what an SCE is. I'm sorry, they fucking don't. It's very obvious to me, because they type they type 2 cores as SCE. They have no idea what a fucking SCE is. So they look at an SCE and think, well, is that an SCE? That's very often the thought process of the fucking PDB. I just wanted to say that the whole fundamentalism thing you've been preaching works and has leveled my Enneagram game. Thank you.
Well, that's
you
really
have
great
to
feedback.
thank Ring for that. He was the one who coined the term, and even though it's funny, we kind of came to the same conclusion at the same time, around the same time, but I believe I was influenced by him kind of talking about it, and I thought about that, and that's how this shit started.
And I wanted to add something about the SCE and the social 2 thing, and I think it goes beyond that combination. And I think we have to talk about the reality of when you're trying to work with correlations and combining two systems together that were never designed to work together. If you look at it, right, the social 2, the social 7, there's parts of like the social 3 and the E4s, all these different descriptions have elements that are both dynamic and static. And that is going to lead to some real contradictions. And this exists with every single combination. Look at social 3 and LIE. How often is a TI restricting, TI ignoring type going to be circle jerking hierarchies? Yet one of the most important things for a social 3 to do is to achieve that type of position actively. Whereas if we're going to go for traditional socionics, the LIE is looking for people to give them roles in systems, especially the ESI. So similar thing happens with the social 2, where why is a TI suggestive going to circle jerk hierarchy as well? But that's just the reality. We're looking for best fits. We're not looking for one-to-one. If you're looking to one-to-one or believe that they're one-to-one, you're joking yourself. You're closing your eyes on a
Yeah.
lot of the descriptions, and that's just
Yeah.
the reality. All of them have contradictions. You just have to
Yeah.
find,
The
if you
best
if
fit,
you're
the
into
best
it,
overall fit on a fundamental level. Because if you go nitpicking, you can nitpick everything. Like
everything,
that's the
dude.
reality, you know? And
Like sexual 4 ESI. How
yeah,
can the sexual
no, yeah,
4 be ESI?
yeah,
Like an FE ignoring type is going to be theatrical.
yeah. Yep,
The reality is that they all have these
they all
contradictions,
do.
right? And if you are so dead set on using correlations, be my guest, find your combinations. I think they're fun to read. I personally focus individually in each system because that gives me more benefit. But please, freedom is a thing. Use these systems the way they work for you. But that's what I wanted to say about SEE and social too.
And you said it right, I think people, I don't know, I see, and sometimes, I see those flaws, like, the sexual
Hmm.
four described as this hyper impulsive person who is so
Yeah,
expressive with his sentiment, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like,
yeah,
sure, but I don't start sweating over it, because I'm just,
yeah.
because I know it's not perfect. It's not perfect, sure. But I'm not here to do perfect, because perfection doesn't exist. And that's it, That's my mentality on it. I try not to sweat over correlations. Which is funny, because I feel like the anti-correlationists sometimes sweat more over that shit. More about that shit than me. It's like, I already have my list. I have my list, bro. Like, I'm done with it, I have my list. It's good. Whatever. I'm not gonna sit there making sure to create constant adjustments. I kind of go to the point where, yeah, I understand the main picture, and that's it. Um, what do you look for? June asks, what do you look for when differentiating passion? Gluttony and lust seems super similar to me. I think the differentiation
Ooh,
in
that's a good
my eyes,
question.
the differentiation between gluttony and lust is you have to understand a fundamental basis of the gluttony or gluttonous type. Yes, there's gluttony for more and more and more, but there is such a huge mental component. They look more and more and more to distract themselves, to kind of cope with the boring, mundane reality in hopes for a better future, in hopes that there is something more exciting, more interesting out there. And we often say that the 7 is mentally stimulating, and I don't believe I don't believe it's simple as that. Like, because a 7 core can enjoy hedonism.
Look, there's SB7 exists.
They can enjoy eating food and just going crazy, partying, fucking drinking,
Bro,
sex.
I love partying.
Right? So,
I'm a social 7. I love parties.
right?
I wish people invite me to
So
them.
does that mean that Ring doesn't rely on hedonism that's physical? No, everyone does. You have to understand, everyone does. But the gluttony is more of a mental process. Everything that they do is more mental. It's not just I'm here to just enjoy the moment for its intensity and purely for its intensity because I'm so immersed with here and now. That's not the gluttonous type. That's not the gluttonous type. Ring, you can explain the other side of it.
Yes. I'm actually gonna give chat here the easiest way to
Based.
kind of differentiate between the E8's lust and the E7's gluttony. And you can see this in character neurosis as well. You can look and you'll see it's quite obvious. And this is exactly what Russ here was touching up on when it comes to the mentalness of the E7's gluttony and the visceral physicality of the E8's lust. And this comes from an innate fear that the E7s have that the E8s don't. The E7 is naturally, they feel guilty and ashamed for having hedonistic impulses. Yes, even the SP7 feels this way. This is why the E7 engages in intellectual games to get what they want. And E7 is unlike, maybe second or tied to with the E2 are the two types that will get whatever they want without ever asking for it. And the reason why they don't ask for it is because they feel if they're outed as this gluttonous, hedonistic person, that they will be denied from those experiences, that they'll be outcasted, they won't be allowed to indulge anymore. That is why they have this defense mechanism of self-indulgence. Self-indulgence is a way to incorporate others into hedonism to make it more socially acceptable. Yes, not only the social 7 does this, the sexual 7 also does this, and the SB7 also does this, where they involve others and make it socially acceptable to indulge in hedonism. The E8 does not play mental games to get what they want. They're actually very direct. They do what is known as
impatient and direct. Yeah.
they're impatient and direct. They do counter interjection, which if you tell an E8 that something they like is bad, or even random shit like this is bad, or society says we shouldn't do this in one way or another, they're going to go the exact opposite way. They're going to be a contrarian. They're going to say, no, actually, this is wrong. They are a direct rebel. The E7 is still rebellious, but is an indirect rebellion. The E8's rebellion is direct. Both of these types want stimulation. Both of these types want to stay away from the mundane, but the E7 will do game theory, will play intellectual games. The E8 will be direct, will use what is in front of them, and will be in your face about defending their own hedonism. That is a big difference between the two.
Perfect. We need to clip that. Veronica, if you are here, we can clip that, because that was a very good explanation. Very good.
Thank you.
Of course, I want to see something though, because there was something. I think Durek was asking something. Just give me a second. I'm looking for it. Oh, this one. Where the fuck is it? Does it not appear? Oh, okay. So how do sexual 8 and sexual 2 seduce differently? And
Ooh, that's a fun one.
I wanna kind of talk about that, because there is a huge common theme that happens with the SCE, that people what they think the SCE sexual 2 is actually the SCE sexual 8. Because I see the way they describe the sexual 2. A possessive dominator who's gonna come and do what they want. That's not a sexual 2. And fuck, I even met self-typed sexual 2s, SCEs, who told me how aggressive they are, and how a mama, how this, I'm so SE based. And every single fucking thing that they did was completely indirect. They had no direct fucking bone in their body. Where the fuck is this aggression? Where is this directness? I can see you. I see someone who's hiding. I see someone who's just licking ass, but I don't see shit. So the true sexual 2 in its seduction is more of the second, the latter, aka a fucking seductive person who's gonna flatter you. They're gonna talk sweet nothings in your ear. They're gonna be the perfect person. I'm gonna be so amazing to you. I'm gonna make you feel so good. I'm gonna evoke those emotions in you, and they're gonna make you feel so good, right? I'm gonna present to you myself a certain way, just so I'm gonna be attractive to you. A sexual 8 doesn't do that. A sexual 8 can drag attention. A sexual 8 also, I think seduction is more direct. Look at me, yeah? I like you, right? So it's more, they can almost be, they might even want to drag attention through their rebellion. Look at me, I'm an outlaw. I don't give a fuck about any of the rules, baby. Right? You want to go out? And that's the type. So it's very direct and much more direct, much more possessive. More likely to break norms. The sexual 2, I'm just tired of this whole thing. Sexual 2 is very similar to sexual 8, and it is not. I don't believe it is. I really don't believe it is. I've seen enough sexual 2s for me to look at them and be like, they ain't no fucking 8 core. They aren't, you know? So, again, direct, possessive, dominating, against more seductive, more malleable, more adaptive, more flattery, charm, sweetness, right? Very two different modes. So that's my take on this shit.
I think you explained it really well. And I think that you've actually been posed with that question a lot, so you actually have better answers for it than I do. So that was great.
Yeah, it's because I've met people who I thought were sexual too. You know, I did genuinely think they were typed correctly. And I saw patterns in them, and I see the difference in the way they come across and their interpersonal style. So that it always helps to have a practical example of type in a person to see how it actually manifests. But let's go further. I wanted to say something. So how do you see the social 3 SE base? So social 3 is described as a person who cannot live in the moment. Let's for a while just sit down and think about that quote. They cannot live in the moment, truly to let go and enjoy the present moment. So unless you somehow say that is the SE base type, then we can discuss. But there's nothing SE base about the social 3. The only thing that it is by people saying, well, the social 3 cares about its status and goals and aesthetics, so it must be SE base. Yeah, okay, cool. That's not the fucking case at all. I've read the social 3 book is a very rational type, fixated on effectiveness and efficiency. And even when they appear spontaneous, it's literally written in the book, it's still manufactured. They are still not truly spontaneous. It's all created. They make it seem that way, right? In a way where it's kind of not fake, it's superficial. They're not truly spontaneous. They aren't. This is a good question for you, Ringdo.
Mm-hmm.
The SP7, the social 7 neurotic needs, and we can touch on the instinctual variant here in this answer.
Yes, this is a great transition too. And hello, Shade. Nice to see you. Always nice to have you in the chat. Let's describe the difference between these two. The SP7, because most people don't even know about the neurotic need of the SP7 outside of, aren't they just scammers that like rule the world in the shadows, That's actually social 3, but let's not get into that. The SP7's neurotic need is called family. And family is not in the sense of, let's say, social 8's complicity. It's not in the sense that they are looking for familial bonds. The way it is described in Golossos is family is almost akin to like a mafia. This SP7 wants to create a network of people that have, decent amount of loyalty so they don't get betrayed, where they provide each other, especially them, resources, materials, experiences, knowledge, whatever it is that ensures the SP7's survival, ensures the SP7's access to hedonism. They are very great networkers. And you will actually notice, in fact, SP7s are generally very cold. If they don't want anything out of you, they're extremely schizoid. And it's described in the book too that the SP7s don't really care about the world. They care about their hedonism, which makes them care about the people who provide them that hedonism. That could be their family, but the family is not necessarily in their circle. The circle, everyone serves a utilitarian purpose to provide something. It is very transactional. The SP7 can be extremely loyal to this very transactional group, but it is something that is for their survival at the end of the day.
It's based on more pragmatic reasons, basically.
Yeah, exactly. Because people ask me, it's like, why is the SP7 the conservation 7? It's so social based. Well, you'll be surprised because the SP3 also has a very similar neurotic need with inclusion, where it's kind of the opposite, where the SP3 provides to their social groups so they feel safe within the inclusion. The SP7 creates social groups so they can feel safe in knowing their resources are ensured. They're both of these types, even though they deal with other people, they're not neurotically dealing with other people, society, and community as well.
This is neurotic, so important. Because I'm sorry, go on, Rick. I'm cutting you off.
No, you're good. I'm gonna go to social 7 afterwards. But if you want to talk about SP7, this is the time.
I just wanted to tell you that mention that the whole sometimes people think of the IVs in a way where it's superficial. Oh, look at this person, they're in the community. You need to look really the neurosis, which is a deep fixated state, Like everything, it's not just like the SP3, like the SP7. He creates alliances, he creates those relationships, So, but why is he doing that? Is he actually sweating about the relationships itself? No, he isn't. It's about survival. It's about getting stuff. It's about, it's more pragmatic. It's utilitarian. It's utilizing certain benefits for himself to ensure survival. And he can do that by having people that you scratch my back, I scratch your back. You give me shit, I give you shit. And that's the kind of more pragmatic SP7 mindset.
And that's exactly what it is. Because at the end of the day, it's not the people, it's the survival.
Exactly.
And they're fixated.
Exactly.
That survival mechanism, going back to your party with the SP8 guy, that was there too. It was ensuring their materials, their existence.
And
to
did you
another
see
day.
how it's so funny that we use this party example, but it's perfect because I've seen him act out in a way that we can call neurotic. He acted out in an excessive fashion. He was worried, he was acting aggressive, he was like, they do this to me, you know, I can't let that shit happen. That's the excessive and neurotic response of the dominant instinctual variant that you have. That's how it's supposed to be. You know, and I do genuinely feel sometimes, because I've seen people describe it on PDB, your first instinct, your dominant instinct is the one you feel most comfortable in. It feels the most natural. It's like, you mean it feels the most painful. If you tell me that, I can understand it. But the most fucking relaxed and just chill, that's not your dominant.
Yeah.
We act out about our dominant instinctual variant. And once you understand this, bro, I'm telling you guys, everyone in the chat, it will change the way you perceive subtypes. Because you'll see how much influence the instinctual variant has on your type. It's insane.
Enneagram fundamentalism, hashtag spread the word. Enneagram fundamentalism. And Russ is exactly correct here, you know? There's this idea that your dominant is this thing that just, it feels good. It's like your world. It's like in socionics or something, but it's not. Your dominant, if you go to IV theory itself, your dominant, you're the most neurotic. If focus all your time on it, it's a problem. Your secondary is the one that you actually feel a lot more chill about. You know, you could do it for fun. You still clearly, quote unquote, value what you do on there. And your blind spot is the one you chronically not fixate on. You try not to think about it. But when you do think about it, it can be almost as bad as the first. But generally speaking, it's, in my opinion, the least relevant. But the most important thing you need to take away is that you're dominant. You are the most neurotic. It fucks with you. You can learn so much about yourself. Take away Enneagram itself. To think about IV. If you could find your dominant IV, you can learn so much about yourself just by that. It is such a simple system that has so much return. It is insane.
And it's funny. It's really funny because this theory might even be more accurate than we thought. Because pragmatist, you know, I was reading his question and I'm like, even if we look at just subtypes, the instinctual variants, there's no trace really of the sexual subtype. It looked like a conservation subtype. And he even said he related to the SP more than any other one. He came out to be SP8. So it's very funny. It's very funny. But don't sleep on those. I promise. Don't sleep on those. It'll do you some good.
Let's do the second half of the question. And we're going to do the social 7. Right?
Yeah.
The social 7's neurotic fixation, it technically is defined to have a couple, but it's the main one that you could take home. The neurotic fixation of the social 7 is the desire to be extraordinary. Some people misinterpret this as to be seen as extraordinary. Some people misinterpret this as they just want to be their ideal self. They're both right, but they're both incorrect. And the reason being is it is both. The social 7 does not feel enough when others see them as their ideals. Others see them as their ideal self. That's good. That's one part of it. But also, if the social 7 feels like their ideal self, but others don't see it either, that is also a problem. This is a subtype that needs to feel extraordinary internally and needs others to see them as extraordinary externally. It's both, and this is a big confusion point for people to understand the social 7. It is both, and that's why I say the neurotic fixation of the social 7 is to be extraordinary. And what is extraordinary? It is to look like a realized being, to be the most actualized, to seem like you're just a greater, higher level being, better than others. That is a particular one too. They feel superior. They feel that they're above others because they feel like they've just are more morally superior, similar to like actually an E1. And they feel like they are more intelligent, similar to an E5, and they feel like they are the most serving to others, similar to an E2 and an E9 actually. And the way it's described is there's a mechanism of sacrifice, but you can't just because a lot of people ask me, so you keep saying the social sevens neurotic fixation is extraordinary, right? Being extraordinary, so where the fuck does this whole like sacrifice thing come in? People think that the social seven does these big sacrifices. We're talking like a Tony Stark, we're talking like an Erwin Smith, people who literally end their lives to save others. That's social seven neurotic fixation. No,
Yeah,
you are
we
wrong.
wish it would be. We wish,
Social
but
sevens,
it
just
ain't.
like every E7, is a
Charlatan.
fraud. They're charlatans. They're
Charlatan.
anti-socials. The social seven thinks that if they act in a pro-social way, if they demonstrate altruism, if they be a quote-unquote good person, that they sacrifice their hedonism, their inner gluttony, that others will reward them, and they can reward themselves with feeling like they're an actualized, realized being to feel extraordinary. So all that a social seven does most of the time is they'll act like a really good guy, and they do that good guy stuff because it makes them feel good and it makes others see them as a good guy, and they'll try to push, postpone, and sometimes even repress what they actually want in terms of a materialist gluttony to show that. And that's what a sacrifice is. Sacrifice is not big acts. Sacrifice isn't small acts, but generally you'll see them in small acts. Sacrifice is an engine, is a mechanism. It is constantly on for the social seven. They're not even thinking about it. They're often thinking about how they can be this virtuous pro-social person. That is sacrifice in a nutshell. To postpone the inner gluttony and to act and to manifest altruism. That is a sacrifice engine for the social seven. And all this is connected because we're going to bring it back to our good old hashtag Enneagram fundamentalism.
Yeah.
The social seven best, in my opinion, best displays the core problem that the E7 has. They are ashamed. They feel guilty. They feel like they are bad people for being gluttonous, hedonistic, antisocial people, just like every single E7 is. So on the social sphere, because they're neurotically fixated on others, they're neurotically fixated on groups and relationships and communities, society at large, in and itself, not for conservation reasons, not for intensity sexual reasons, but simply just to be able to have a spot in society, a favorable one, similar to the social five. They partake in sacrifice because they feel ashamed that they have these inner desires of just want to party and want to fucking ignore everything and want to do drugs and want to eat good food and let the world go to shit. That is the default fundamental of a social seven. And you can see the E7 problem exacerbated, that shame, guiltiness. The SP7 and sexual seven are not as guilty with what they're seeking a pleasure. They're still underhanded with it, but the social seven makes it their fucking job to not feel guilty and shameful about about their selfish pleasure seeking. Okay, that was a lot. I fucking ranted, but that was a lot of like social seven versus SP7. Clearly, when you go at that level, outside of both the SP7 and the social seven both being E7s, the conservation and the social instincts, it's very different. It's very, very different.
It's so different. It's funny how you went so deep into it. Wow. Fuck's sake, guys. That's a lecture for you guys to learn from.
My bad. Was that too long?
Even if I tried to clip this, I don't think I could fit. I would need to speed up the talking to make it fit 1 minute. Yeah, I get everything, bro. Do social sevens do these hedonistic things be behind closed doors, or do they neurotically abstain?
That's a great question. I'll answer it fast. It's both. It is both because the social seven feels most enabling of themselves when no one is there. They also neurotically abstain too if they can kind of merge it with the ideal that they have. But there's a third one. Social sevens will also partake in gluttony by playing social games like every other E7. You know, they would be like, there's this like really funny example that's always used, where it's like, oh, the social 7 will, before taking the last slice of pizza, will always ask everyone, you know, if they want it. So, and then they'll let someone else have it to feel like so sacrificial. The real social 7 will look at that slice of pizza, see the last one, and think, oh my God, I should give this to somebody. But wait, hold up. There's onions on this. People don't really like onions. Here, let me take care of this so no one has to deal with this slice of pizza. That's the real social
whoa!
7.
Oh, guys, I'm sure you'd hate the pizza. Trust me, it's
Yeah,
very
it's
bad
cold now.
tasting pizza.
I should take care of it. That's a neurotic social 7 right there.
Guys, I'm not doing this for me. I'm doing this for y'all.
For us, and you relate to that as a social 8. It's the super
That's the social
problem.
subtype, you know. I'm definitely not butchering this person because of my own shit. I'm doing this because he did this X, Y, and Z to you. It's like, yeah, that's it, you know. Wow.
And Veronica saying in chat, Ring just self-reporting.
Yeah.
Stop. And I was just like, if you're partaking in Enneagram and not consistently self-reporting, you're using the system wrong. Use it to help yourself. Be honest with yourself. Stop coping, okay? Hashtag stop coping. Hashtag Enneagram
stop.
fundamentalism.
I can tell he's feeling much better. I can tell physically he's feeling much better because he's a fucking yapatron, guys. He is a fucking yapatron as fuck. Yaptimus Prime. Man. June is asking SP3 SO6. I see both lying to themselves for inclusion. Is the difference that 3 does it consciously? They're not similar. Social 6 is a fucking nerd. SP3 is a Sigma who's all about effectiveness, efficiency, and making sure everyone is well fed, and he's a great provider. Social 6 is a random fucking nerd, you know? So I wouldn't even put those two types in the same fucking category. Like, god damn it, they're not even the same. But enough of me ranting. You need to give a more professional response.
Yeah, I got you, because this mistype does occur. A lot of people are like in my SP3.
You're so funny.
6.
You're so funny because even if someone was like, I don't know if I'm a fucking sexual 8 or SP1, you'd be like, this subtype, this confusion does happen sometimes. I'm not saying it doesn't. Yeah, I know.
But that's what there's like this triad. Because, you know, Pragmatist and I like to make up new words for triad. The SP1, SP3, and Social 6 dutiful triad. Maybe
dutiful.
SP4 instead.
Okay, yeah, makes sense.
Like the dutiful triad, you know, like that's what it is, you know? But you're right. Okay, so superficially, yes, both want inclusion. June is right. The SP3 wants inclusion. But at the end of the day, we can break this down. We could break this down by just looking into the subtypes, but let's do Enneagram fundamentalism here. Let's do IVs here, right?
What?
At the end of the day, the SP3 does not neurotically relate to others, does not neurotically need to have a particular relationship with others. They're not afraid of the relationship itself. They're afraid if the relationship goes wrong that they're going to miss out on their own survival. So the SP3 min-maxes their skills, their energy to obtain a position with people so they feel like they will survive. At the end of the day, survival is more important than simply connecting and relating to others. The social 6, the social E6 is going to be more inclusive because they want to not be deprived of their connections with others. They want people in their lives. They want to connect in the way and be part of communities. It is for its own reason itself. The social 6 can pick up like practical skills, but at the end of the day is the group, their relation to the group matters more. The SP3 might have those sentiments, but you had to go deeper, okay? Everyone uses relationships. That's why people can't even tell what a sexual or a social is, because don't they both use relationships? You know, so you got to go deeper. What is the core fixation? The SP3 is afraid of their survival. The social 6 is afraid of not having inclusion for inclusion reasons.
Perfect.
Whew.
Yeah, man, you are on a roll. Let's go.
Let's fucking go, bro.
Okay, so he has a Joshua Kakakuza. I know Joshua. He even has sent me multiple questions in Q&As. Kakakuza. I remember saying Joshua Kakakuza, and for some reason that should stick to my mind. I unironically have like fucking photographic memory. Yeah, it's insane. I'm an SCE with photographic memory. Ring, why do you say social 7 and sexual 5 have the most complex neuroses? I
Yeah.
agree. I just wonder about your reasoning.
Yeah, Joshua, that's a really good question. And I do say this a lot. And I might change my mind after I do my 15th reading of all the books again. But currently speaking, I can see why people trip up on social 7 and sexual 5 the absolute most. And the reason being is it takes the most literally it takes the most amount of sentences, words, and concepts to be able to explain the neuroticness of both of these types. We just talked about social 7, and I might talk a little bit about it afterwards, but I want to focus on sexual 5 here, right? The sexual 5 will look exactly like every single E5 you know. E5s, E7s, E8s, they have a high degree of looking like each other externally. The sexual E5, just like every other E5, is looking for their cave. The SB5 kind of develops their own cave by being withdrawn, looking into conservation mechanisms, ensuring their resources, yada yada. Social fives, they find their cave within ensuring a place in society where people recognize them, that they can be like their totem, do that super idealization. The sexual five is a weird one because the sexual five is someone. I always like to explain the sexual five using JoJo references because, like, the sexual five, I'm not gonna talk too much about it because I know most people don't know JoJo's, but it's the sexual five almost turns the other into like a JoJo stand, and what that really means is they create this ideal of a person that has everything that they've always been missing in their life, and they create this ideal, and now they search for this ideal in any person that interests them. Similar to sexual four in ways, similar to sexual one even. So it's weird, and they do this because they feel like they were deprived with their relationship with their mother. So they create this ideal. They want others to fit into that ideal, and they'll chase their whole life looking for this person that's going to complete them. And why do they do this? Because they want this person to be their cave. The SP5 creates their own cave. The social five's cave is their position in society, being this esoteric knowledge person. The sexual five's cave is in the other. They will spend their whole life trying to fit people into that mold, and they'll be frustrated. They'll be arrogant. They'll be argumentative. They'll try to come off like this shaman, like this knowledgeable person. They'll also try to be like rebellious, almost like an E8, where they're like go against the crowd, and be this person that no one can really understand. And a lot of it is very difficult to explain because all of this fits into still an E5 at the end of the day. So they're going to be lethargic. They're going to be stingy. They're going to feel like they have that lack. So you have to put a lot together to create that image of a sexual five, a person who creates this idealization that of the other that no one can fit into.
Wow.
So it's very, very, very tough to explain that. And of course, social seven, same reason. I'm going to add a little bit more about the childhood of the social seven because I always talk about the neurotic fixation. The social seven also has a fucked up childhood, but oftentimes E7s don't even realize that they have a fucked up childhood. They always say that they have a good childhood, which is really funny. The social seven, I'm going to not go too deep into it. I'm going to say the relationship that the social seven has with the mother, the father, and then society. The social seven, because of their upbringing, because of their enthronement, where they were put to like a place with their parents that they should have not, they were idealized as a kid for their good qualities and then not recognized for their negative ones. So they feel like they should always manifest their good qualities, aka be extraordinary. The social seven feels the need to save the mother. The social seven feels the need to rebel against the father, then also seek the father's validation, also be the parent to the mother and the father, and then also seek to recreate the relationship with the parents with all parts of society. Either the social seven is saving other people, rebelling against other people, but still seeking their validation. You can't really break that down really quickly. In a lot of ways, other Enneatypes you can. So they're both very complex in the way that it takes more time to actually explain the nuances between both of these types.
Okay, yeah, patron, we're moving forward. Fuck, are you healthy? No, genuine question. Are you healthy?
No. Who's healthy?
So
bro?
why the fuck are you talking so much?
What do you mean?
That's not usual. That's not the usual you. At least not the usually you when you're sick. And there's usually lack of energy. You must have drunk coffee. You must have fucking had
Oh
seven
yeah,
Red Bulls.
I just took half of a fucking coffee I've been keeping in my fridge. Yeah,
Wow.
I saved it for this moment, so I'm gonna crash right the fuck after this.
Oh my. That's not good for you. That's not good.
But
for
that's not fair. This guy asked me what's the most complex
No,
neurosis.
I
You
know.
know?
I know. It's good. You can answer. How is that?
Did you give me another question? That's funny.
How is
Now
that
you're setting me up,
social
bro.
aspect show? I don't fucking know, man. Like, Ring, I feel like you need to answer this question. You know, go for like a 7-minute fucking rant. Let's do it, man. No,
Bro,
but
I
I'm
want to
serious.
be I want to be quiet and mysterious, bro. I want to be cool now.
Now you wanna be fucking cool? But how does that social aspect show up? I have no idea. I think with the social, it's probably always constantly thinking how do they relate to other people, feeling like they're not good enough, comparing themselves in a position in a hierarchy, right? So I would just say very fixated and kind of point of view when it comes to their relation to others in a group, in a social standing, in a hierarchy, in a society, like
Yep.
and I think we see this even with Joker, right? When we typed him social 4, and I think that's kind of what he does. He's really fixated on how fucked up society is and how people like him get mistreated so badly, how life is so unfair, and how people in power will just kind of walk all over him and kind of do whatever they want with him. You know, he's much more fixated on the societal sphere. You know, SP4s generally aren't really like this. You know, they're from my experience, their approach to social stuff is, I mean, pretty chill, I would say. You know, of course, that doesn't mean they don't feel maybe not good enough compared to others, but this is not someone who should neurotically fixate, or where do they really stand with this group. I want to be part of this group. I want to belong. So that's my take on how the social instinctual variant might manifest with the Enneagram 4, you know?
Bro, you explained it perfectly.
Which is probably why the social 4 is the most coped. Because imagine you have someone who's already coped, but then you give them this heightened awareness of the social fucking environment.
Yep.
You're fucked. You are living cope. And I feel for you. Because I'm also social subtype. We're coped, but it's not good. Let me go further. So I'm answering some good questions, some serious questions. When knowing your neurotic need, this is the good question, Durek, by the way. How should you handle it to improve? Okay, let me yap now. Let me yap now. Anyway, so let's use the social 7, because this yapper keeps talking about it. So okay, when you have the social 7, you have someone who's doing those good deeds. He's being this extraordinary individual. I'm so amazing. I can do everything. No. You can get this. You can eat this slice of pizza for sure. La 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 la. Imagine for them to be genuinely to fight against the neurosis, it would be to unironically be more selfish. And by selfish, I mean directly selfish. So instead of making promises, oh yeah, we're gonna fucking do it. Realize you have a compulsion. This person is saying something, your brain has a compulsion to start saying, oh, it's okay, bro, we can solve this problem. I can help you with this. Think about this. Think about what the fuck you're gonna be saying, you know? Really reflect on the desires, on your thoughts, you know? Because you're gonna have that thought. Just think to yourself, this is probably, I know if he's good, if he's correct, but it's probably not gonna help me grow. It's probably just my neurosis speaking right now. And I know I'm gonna be flaky. I know I'm full of shit. I'm just saying it to appease the person, to look like I'm the savior. That's the real reason. I know it. So I'm just gonna stop. And that is the true, like, the person who said no to neurotic need. Not today, right? But the social 7 just needs to go against that. be more selfish, be more out, be more broken, be more fucked up, be more raw, right? Basically, just go against all of this extraordinary, amazing, happy-go-lucky, never angry guy who everyone likes and he just has a good word for everyone. No, be a dickhead sometimes. Say who you don't like, who you like, and you do need to kind of tap into that part of yourself, you know? Basically, whatever your neurotic need is, you have to go against that. So for me as a social A, it's so much categorical thinking when it comes to people. With me, against me, where are you really, who are your friends, where do we fit here? And it's like, and there's this tendency of if you're not part of what I do, you're not part of my path, my group, my whatever, you really don't exist. Even if maybe there was an emotional connection and maybe I should have cared, but because as far as I'm concerned, this emotional connection doesn't matter because you're not part of, you know, whatever I'm doing, whatever we're doing, you're not part of that. So for me to go against my neurotic need would be to, you know, understand like, oh, that's fucked up thing on my part. I should still reach out to this person because they're my friend or we liked each other at some point, we were connected to one another, you know, and I shouldn't be this categorical. Basically, stop thinking in those categorical terms, you know, like stop trying me, you, us versus them. And for me, it's like breathing. I do this shit with everybody, you know, and that's your neurotic need. You will involve everyone in your neurotic need. That's just how it goes, especially as a social subtype, because we are social subtype. We involve other people, you know, like the social 7, the social 2, the social 8. You meet someone, oh shit, yeah, this person will be amazing. If I would have them being part of my team. And shit, the things we can do together. This is fucking good. They're loyal too. We can fuck shit up together. And your brain is already fucking going there. So it's, for me, it's personally good. Have people of different views, have people of different beliefs, have people who are not involved in what I do. Have friends all over who might not even not be part of my mission, whatever it is. And by focusing on those relationships, I'm able to kind of overcome the social fucking neurotic fixation, you know? That naturally makes me think, why the fuck, what am I fucking doing here? This person is not really part of my shit, so why should I give a fuck, you know? And that's kind of, so basically, you need to go against what feels right. Why do you think, I said many times, growth is the hardest thing you can ever do? And I said this shit many times, no one believed me. Oh, I'm healthy. No, you're not. You're not, because being healthy is one of the hardest things you will ever do, genuinely, because everything you do naturally, think about it this way, you have to go against that, you know. How many times do I want to do something and I feel I would be so good at doing this one thing if I just gave in, okay? But I know it feels good, it's right, I'm great at it, but I shouldn't do it because it's not healthy. I'm a slave to the neuroses, and it's such a slow fucking process. But you need to go against what the fuck you do, and think about that. You need to go against your natural inclination. This is the hardest thing a human being can fucking ever do, in my opinion, genuinely. Okay, I ranted too. I really did rant.
I liked it. It was good.
You were so silent. You were like,
I'm here to listen.
Shut the fuck up. You're not here to listen. It's Cosmia says it's cool to see you talk about the instincts on their own and connecting with narcotics. People typically they do, and I do think I think it's people are misunderstanding them. And once you understand the instincts and how they interact with the type, you will benefit from it. I did because I used to think, oh, sexual 8, SP8. I looked at it as just like they're a bunch of different traits. They're just a bunch of different characteristics and behaviors. But I never understood, I never looked at just the fucking instinctual variant, the neurotic need that's based on the instinctual variant. I never thought about that. And if I did, it would make sense. It would make this trying to distinguish all the subtypes much easier. So for me, it's also a big thing.
Bro, you know what? I'm announcing this to the chat. Eventually, so you can't hold a sword to my face. Eventually, going to make a document on Enneagram fundamentalism, and how
Oh my
you
god,
can utilize
yes.
it.
You should.
Yeah,
You should.
make a document on it.
You should. For sure. You can make a document on it. I can then make it a video. So we can really, reach
Yes.
big audience and decapitate the world and take over.
Just no one hold me to it, okay? I'm gonna do it when I feel
Wow,
like it.
no one hold me to it. Yeah, fuck. I will hold you to it. I will hold you to it.
Oh no, prison.
Prison. Oh, now he's not gonna do it, guys. Oh, fuck.
Shackles.
That's funny.
Cuffs to the commitment.
He's so fucking. Once you start saying, "Oh, really? You should." No, I was just joking. I was just testing.
It could be so good though. I see the potential. It could be so good. Oh man, we can fix so many mistypes with just Enneagram fundamentalism document. Oh man,
I know.
I can see it already. Enneagram fundamentalism.
But that's,
died.
listen. My question is, you talk a lot about it, but you're not gonna do it. Instead, stop talking and do it. Sit down and do it.
Yeah, I'm gonna shut up.
Because I've already made few documents. I made few documents in a few weeks, like full blown. Because that's the thing, you I understand. You need to feel like this kind of drive to do it. You need to feel interest in it.
Yeah.
Catch yourself when you're kind of thinking about typology and you. Oh no. Let's feed into your neuroses. Just for a second. Once you're chilling on a Sunday, just think about what the fuck it could do. Like the impact that it would have. This amazing fucking impact. How people would like it. Everyone would upvote it. Everyone would circle jerk it. It would be amazing. Right?
I'm gonna tell you why that didn't work for my neurotic fixation. I'll tell you
why that didn't work.
Because what you explained there was so hedonistic and so gluttonous.
Oh my
and
god!
So
oh my
it
god!
It actually repels me.
So
like,
because I said that you'd like it, you were like, no, I'm not gonna like it, please.
You just made it sound so like shallow and superficial that it took me away from my ideals and made me like double down my neurotic fixation because I was saying, I'm not like that. I'm better than that. I don't need that shit. I'll do it for my own reasons. I'll do it because I want to help people. It's so like you actually pushed it. Yeah.
Guys, I
literally
tried
my
to
brain.
appeal to his neurotic need, and his neurotic need kicked me in the face. Said that's not gonna work. Like that's insane.
Naranjo actually said, you can see this in the last chapter of the Social 7. You can see that, the Social 7, one of the problems is that it will literally mentally out fucking play healing itself because it will think it's better than that in some way or another. For example, Social 7s co-opt spirituality and other like healing through like understanding the self and then mysticism and co-opt it into just like part of their extraordinariness. Yeah. And they won't even transform or grow from that. They'll just be like, yes, I'm a Buddhist or I'm a vegetarian, and be like that should feed your soul, but it won't because the Social 7 will co-opt it into their extraordinariness. It's really fucked up.
June says, considering you guys read Instinctual variants differently from Naranjo, as in 1-to-1, how would you describe sexual 4 differently from him?
Hey, I wouldn't. That's the thing. Yeah. I wouldn't describe it differently. I think that, I think the Sexual 4 book could have been written better. I think that it was very badly written, but the idea makes so much fucking sense. The core idea of the Sexual 4 is someone who feels entitled to more than what they have, but in particular, they feel angry that the world took it away from them. Different from the Sexual 5, but similar as well. They feel upset that people took away their throne. And particularly this indicates their relationship with their mother, which they feel like they were like neglected in one way or another. They turn out into the world owes them something. And you can clearly see envy mixed with the sexual instinct in the way that neurotic fixation comes out. I think they do a great job at getting the core idea. I think their communication sucks, and I also think the translations we get from the books are ass. And that's just the reality we currently live in, and we're trying to bridge those gaps. But when I think of a sexual instinct and I think of an E4, I do think of a Sexual 4. It's more of like a gestalt thing, the way you want to visualize it. It's more like a gestalt, because I think the outcome is correct.
You will not see any objections from me.
Based.
Let me see. Can you explain an Enneagram 6 neurotic need? I can't. I don't give a fuck about an Enneagram 6. I should have said
Whoa!
it.
We can
Like,
take a
I
step
don't know.
back and talk
I
about
don't
it.
find it interesting. It's the neurotic need of fear. Do I find it interesting? Really? Your whole neurosis is being scared. Think about let that sink in. And I don't mean just scared. Like, oh my god, there's a fucking tiger. No, I mean like existentially scared. Like so scared that your bones move, you know? It's so you're so scared, you don't even feel fear. You're like you this fear goes deeper than just this kind of basic expression of fear. And to me, that's super boring. I'm sorry, that's just boring for me personally. I don't know.
So, just to explain to Theo,
But
like
I love
he's
you.
also
You're great. You're
Theo's an
great.
Easter egg too, you know? Uh, what you're gonna see, just to use the nomenclature correctly, when you're gonna see the E6, right, their fixation, right, is cowardice, you know, needs a strong leader to follow, someone who can protect them honestly from themselves, because we know that fear is localized within the brain of the E6. When we talk about like a neurotic fixation or a neurotic need, we're looking more at the subtypes. And of course, each of the different E6s have different neurotic needs. Like we have the SP6 is warmth, we have the sexual sixes like need to feel invulnerable to fear. We have the social sixes kind of like that inclusion thing going on where they want to feel they'll bend themselves to fit into a social environment that they choose, you know. So if you have a specific subtype or you just want to learn more about E6, I'm just going to talk about E6 itself here. But yeah, Russ is right. The passion is fear, and the fear is made from, I'm not gonna say made up, but made from the E6's psyche. We're talking about people that feel better when they deliberate on choices because they feel like the fear that taking a step back before taking action is a good thing, that they're protecting themselves. They actually harness the fear in a similar way the E4s harness envy in that regard, and they channel it into defense mechanism.
And
Even in the sexual six,
it's
even
so
in the
funny. It's
counterphobic
so
sexual
funny
six.
because I kind of feel like people genuinely think paranoia and like actually feeling fear is related to Enneagram 6. And it's like you don't understand what it even means. Because I see so many SP8s being typed as a sexual 6 because they felt fear or they're paranoid. It's like the sexual 6 fear isn't just basic fear. It's something so deeply affecting them that it really is even reflective of their worldviews, of how they approach every single thing of their life. It's not just, oh, I feel fear right now. I'm feeling paranoid. I'm a sexual. It's ridiculous. People completely, especially back in the Reddit era of, sexual 6 is like the guy who's scared, and 8 core is not scared. That's the thing, right? 8 core is not scared. 8 core feels fear like any other thing. Feels fucking fear every single thing, right? So, and the sexual 6 feels fear. So what's the difference? What the difference is, the sexual 6's fear is so deeply rooted, right, that it defines their actions. Literally, their worldviews, the way they approach situations. The fear doesn't define the drive of the Enneagram 8. That doesn't mean they can't feel fear. They do, but it does define their fucking drive, their psychological drive, So there's a difference. And I remember there's this guy in the Squid Game, the first Squid Game. He was an Enneagram 8, very obvious Enneagram 8, very unhealthy one. And people was like, maybe he's a sexual 6 because he was very scared and he was a coward. It's like, what the fuck? Like, really? He was scared because he was playing in a game that will kill you and he wanted to survive at all cost, but he's a sexual 6? What the fuck? What the fuck, man? It's crazy, Let's go
I think
deeper.
you explained that really, really well. I wanted to just add a little bit more, but I think you explained it really well there. Just the sexual 6 makes a really great example of all this because it's the counterphobic E6, right? It's the one that,
it's the,
moves against fear, right?
I'm facing my fears.
I'm facing my fears, right? The sexual 6, and they use this word, invulnerability, and I love it. I want you all, the next time you have to conceptualize a sexual 6, I want you to think of the word invulnerability in the context of the sexual 6's neurotic need is to feel invulnerable to fear.
Yeah.
That is what defines their neurotic
They circle
fixation.
jerk it on the daily. On the daily. This is something. So yes, this motherfucker who's like, I'm trying to be invulnerable. That's not an Enneagram 8 probably. Although, I mean, SP8s can cope this way too. That doesn't mean shit, to be honest. That doesn't fucking mean shit.
When you take it further, right? Sexual sixes are more invested into actually making others feel afraid. And you're going to notice this in a lot of sexual sixes.
That's
They
true.
act in ways like look at Moon Knight, right? Moon Knight is a
Yeah.
goated sexual six. He literally says the quote, "Why do I wear white? Because I want other people to see me." It's so edgy. And of course,
That's
this is a
such a
cartoon
sexual six,
character,
yeah.
but it makes a lot of sense,
Sexual
you know?
sixes are actual edgelords. Like actual
Yeah.
fucking edgelords. The most edgy type ever. Like it's actually they're so edgy. It's I can't fucking like Moon Knight's like quotes in the game. Nuance is weakness. There's no room for nuance. It's like
Yeah. Oh,
wow.
and another thing, I just want to add. I just want to add to Moon. I think about Moon Knight when I think about Sexual Six now. That is that's my secret like hidden indulgence. Um, the sex every time anything goes wrong for Moon Knight, it's always Khonshu. What the fuck happened? Khonshu did this, or I didn't do this bad thing. Khonshu did, and that is such a E6 part of the Sexual Six where there's like a lack of full responsibility that someone should have been there to take authority and to be that person to at the end of the day provide for the Sexual Six, even though they're such giga chad in vulnerability to fear, often mask because they feel the need to be masculine.
I mean, I view them as schizos. Like, if you want my genuine opinion, I don't view them as this macho man. I view them more like this schizophrenic guy who struggles with kind of vulnerable with feelings and shit. He's paranoid as fuck. Kind of hard to like. Cold, distant, withdrawn, introvert. That's what I see. I see a schizophrenic, violent schizophrenic. That's a key. Violent schizophrenic. Not one of those schizophrenics that's just in the basement and I'm just thinking about shit. Oh my god, I'm seeing shit. No. The violent schizophrenic who might fuck shit up because he thinks the demons are out to get him. That's how I view Sexual Six.
And you just look at it from like the aspect. We know Marvel's really popular right now. We have the rival series, right? Look at the Punisher. Look at Moon Knight, and you can think of Moon Knight with the same group as Rorschach from fucking Watchmen.
Yeah.
You can think of Batman, also another
Yeah.
sexual six. They all do this thing where an SP8, like the Punisher can look similar. Like he has the skull, he looks scary and whatever. But the Punisher never talks about that. The Punisher is always like, why do I wear this? Because I'm going against this societal norm, and I'm going to be the true justice, and I'm gonna do my justice, and I'm gonna tell it how it is, And every single sexual fucking sex like hero, vigilante is always like, oh no, they're gonna feel fear. I'm
They
gonna
will
make
be
them
scared
afraid.
of me.
They're gonna be scared of me. The Punisher never even. I don't even think the Punisher necessarily.
I don't
wants
think he
to
gives
be
a fuck
afraid of him.
if you're scared of him. I don't
He
think
wants to
this.
seem like a rebel. Like I'm going against society. It's just it's so different.
Thank you, my friend. Let's scroll up. How would you guys narrativize the social instinct in regards to your younger years? How did it manifest? How did you
Russ,
act?
you start with that. I'm gonna go to the bathroom real quick.
Okay. Okay. Do I need to talk about this? Am I? Okay. I think he fucked off.
Whoa! Oh no! I'm here.
Fuck. Do you want me to
He
talk?
just,
Wait.
he just. No! You can start talking. I'll be back.
Okay. How would you social instinct in regards to your younger years? If I look at so it's a question. I think it would be a good question of what possibly contributed to you to be a social subtype, or how do you think your past when you were a kid growing up, did you see any of those fixations? And I would say I saw it, because I remember when I was a kid growing up, I was very fixated and very focused on relationships. And when I'm saying on relationship, on people, right? On friends. In particular, it was always friendships. And for me, that's the big, I was just always focused on that. And I remember I had a couple of friends growing up in different stages of my life that I was really close to at some point. And I remember just being so fixated on having that best friend, having the person who, when we're going to school, we sit together. We sit together in school, we learn together, like we do shit together. And that's what I was always very focused on, fixated on. And I remember I was very young, and I was trying to kind of do that with some guy in the class because we knew each other. But then I saw the guy with another friend. He was still sitting with him in the classroom with him. They were just kind of kicking this shit together, right? Like best buddies. So I remember thinking, yeah, fuck this. There's no fucking point to trying to do this shit, like what the fuck's the point to this? But I was thinking already of that. So that failed. I remember I had another friendship, also failed. Personally, in my life, all my friendships, I was very focused on friendships, and all of the friendships fucking failed. They just failed. There was not a moment where there was this deep friendship that didn't fuck up or didn't fail. No matter what, it always something happened and something failed. And I was very bothered by that. I was very obviously fucked up by that, and I wanted a friend. And I'm gonna give you insight. I at least from my perspective, what happened. When you go through life and you are fixated on those relations and you get fucked up, what happens, I think, is you stop desiring closeness from people. Like you don't give a fuck if you don't care about this emotional connection with people. You don't care to need people. You know what I'm saying? Like when you were young, you need them. You're like, oh, I want friends. I want to be accepted. I want to fucking be accepted by them, and I want us to be the best friends, and we're gonna do fucking everything together. Sit in class and fuck around. And after a while, when you get kicked, and again, this doesn't happen, you get hurt, you get wounded. I think what happens is your brain just says, you know what, this is too much. We don't fucking need this shit. We don't need this emotional aspect. We don't need to depend on others in any way. But what I believe happened, instead of me looking for those genuine friendships, which they were, something else was created, which I believe in my case, complicity. So instead of healthy relationships, now I don't form healthy relationships. I form complicit relationships.
That was good. That's good. I like that.
That's a consequence, because at that time I was looking for that. I was fixated on that, and I was always looking, how do I fit to them? How do they fit with me? Friends, people. It was always the biggest stressor, biggest focus. And I feel like after being rejected so many times and those friendships just dying, it forced me to reject all of that. But instead of truly rejecting it and being like, I don't need that shit, it transformed into, my relationships are no longer based on emotionality in any way, or they're not based on anything even sentimental in a sense. At least not truly. That's a very important. They're not based on anything sentimental truly. It's you and me like the same shit. You and me, I want you to be part of what I'm doing, and we're gonna fuck shit up. You're gonna be loyal to me, and I'm gonna be loyal to you. But at the end of the day, there's something missing. There's something missing, which is the genuine bond. Not because we think, oh, I take a bullet for me, you take a bullet for you, I'll take a bullet for you. That's the true bond, and I understand that's how it looks. But I don't believe it is. A true bond, I feel like it transcends all this complicit bullshit, and you need to be loyal to me, you need to be on my fucking side, and I'm gonna be on your side. We're gonna fucking have each other's back. It goes beyond that shit. It's transcends that. There's no expectations, and I think there are emotions involved, and that's a big one. And in my personal relationships, there's just no emotions. It's like, oh, you're not part of what I'm doing anymore? Fuck it. I don't think about you anymore. Oh, we were best friends, but you betrayed my group, or you betrayed me. I perceived it as betrayal. Fuck it. I don't give a fuck about you anymore. You opposed this thing. I don't give a shit. So was it a true bond? Just because I'm yelling, oh, we're brothers. Oh, we are fucking, it's all unity. Oh, it's loyalty. But was it a true fucking bond? That's the question. And I think for me, the way I formed relationships, it just became fucked up, you know? Now I form relationships in a crippled fucking way. It doesn't seem like it because I'm gathering people, I'm going to a party, everyone fucking likes me, they like me. But I'm already doing shit. Yeah, bro, you know, I'm already on the party, you know, observing the situation and acting like I know this guy and we're gonna be in this together. And you know, it's already fucking constantly doing that shit, but I don't even know the fucking guy. I don't even, how the fuck can I even give a shit about the guy? Yet I already do that. So I don't fucking know, you know? And it's, and for me, that's how it manifested. And I came to this conclusion based on my own insights, based on my introspection. Maybe, I don't know, the books will show, okay? But that's my perspective by connecting the dots. There was this desire for deep friendship, which then you become, you get fucked in the ass, pretty much, non literally, and then this need gets twisted. In my case, it's complicity. So I'm still forming relations, but I'm not forming relations in a normal way, in a healthy way, you know, because sometimes people think social aid, they're just gonna be your best friend. It's like, really? So you think they form relations in a healthy way? No. The whole fucking point of their social subtypes, they don't form relations in a healthy way. Because their relationships is what they're neurotic about. They're fucked up about those relationships. It's a mess. So that's my own perspective from my own understanding. Rain, you can take that shit.
I want you guys to like really think about what Russ said, because it was great. This is like, you can't get this type of content in online on any of the fucking books, you know. This is a raw, authentic experience from a real social aid, right? My thing here is, I want you to think about it. Just take a step back. I don't want to invalidate Russ's experience, but it's important when you think about it from the terms of instinctual variance. The things that happen to Russ, that's happened to you guys too. Getting betrayed, having relationships falling apart, being hurt because of others, being isolated, not include. These things are a thing that happen to everyone. But here's the problem. When you are conservation fixated, you are sexually fixated, you are socially fixated, this happens where you tunnel in to challenges and problems that happen in those domains. People get betrayed all the time, but it's the socials that fucking get crazy about it, you know? Yeah, sometimes you're gonna lose your job, and then you're going to lose things that you need to survive, but the conservations are going to fucking like fucking throw a fit for it, you know?
Yeah, and that's an important thing, because everyone felt this way in their life.
Exactly.
And that's the tricky part. But you need to know if you're actually neurotic, and you will know by observing yourself and your certain behaviors in different domains. For example, I know now clearer than ever, I would never be conservation subtype, because I honestly don't give a fuck. To be honest, like, I just give zero fucks. So there's no neurosis on my part. In fact, I should be more neurotic in many ways. I should care more, right? So that's kind of obvious. But we as humans have those, especially with people, because humans are social animals. Humans are very social. So that is, growing up, it's all about how you know, belonging and being part of the fucking social, the human experience, social groups and stuff. We will all experience it, but how it will define us, it differs. It differs, and how deeply it will define us, and how fixated we are on that. Because for me, looking back, I see how I was always fixated on the same thing, you know. And I'm the same way. I thought, I changed, you know. There's this delusion, maybe even with the Enneagram 8, that I overcame every single turmoil I experienced in my life. Like, all of the shit that I believed made me weak, I overcame all of them. I was completely free. I did not depend on people in any way, shape, or form. Validation, love, attention. I gave zero fucks. Like me, hate me, whatever the fuck. I don't even need love from my parents. That's where I got to that point where I thought I was free. from all of it. But at the end of the day, I was still a slave, same shit. I still created relations. I still was neurotically creating them. I was just doing it differently with my newfound cope, So, let's not do it. Let's not become friends on a deeply emotional, genuine level. Let's instead fuck shit up together and let's be like we'll be to do this together. And oh my god, no one can stop us. Well, look at us. You're gonna be loyal to me. I'm gonna be loyal to you. Amazing. But it's not that true, genuine emotional connection, and that's I guess for me what I would need to do, which I guess I'm trying. I guess I'm trying. I think I'm trying. I don't know.
You're making a lot of breakthroughs, bro.
Yeah.
Our offline conversations have been pretty good in this regard.
Yeah. At least in the introspection, yeah, for sure. Yeah.
And we try to show you these things. We're thinking about this shit.
We do.
I don't want any of you guys to come in the stream and be like, these guys made it. These guys overcame Enneagram and they're here to teach us. And hell no. We're students. No. You're a student.
Everyone's learning. Everyone's learning. And I sometimes feel like I've made so much more introspective breakthrough. And many people will be like, it's pointless, it's useless. Who the fuck gives a shit if you can you have a map and you can pinpoint the cause and effect? But personally, for me, it helps me understand myself on a much deeper level, and understand what makes me tick and what makes me who I am, at the end of the day. Because I think it would be nice to know that. And it's, I still feel like I don't know shit. I still feel like I don't know shit. I still feel like I know like 30% or like 40-50% maybe but I still feel there are certain things I'm still missing. I still don't see, and which is normal because I cannot see those things. Because I mean, you know how hard is it this, how to introspect from your own perspective as someone who has his biases and has his blind spots. It's very difficult to get a clear picture. That's why it takes years. It takes years of experience, takes years of kind of coming in touch with other people, right, on their observations to truly get a full picture of who the fuck, what makes you tick, and some of your flaws that you yourself are blind to because you don't want to accept them, maybe, So even that, I mean, it's that's why I love Enneagram, I think, because it's so fucking hard. It's complex as shit.
Enneagram. And we've done typology for so many years now, Russ. We've been at this and in the community for so many fucking years. And you know what? I think we both came to the conclusion Enneagram is going to unlock more for us. And that's why we kind of focus on it. That's why you're going to see the titles always with Enneagram, because we feel that it helped us. We wanted to help you. We're fighting battles. We want you to get you onto the field to fight your battles too. And let's all get fucking healthier together.
Well, I think also, like, the reason why personally I go to Enneagrams, do you really think I'm going to talk about a SCE personality type and how it define my traumas and how it define my life?
Yeah.
Like, really? It's a fucking SCE typing, which will tell you, oh, he is good at creating relations. Oh, he's also bad at this. But there's no depth. There's no depth. I'm sorry. This doesn't tell me shit. It's nothing more than jerking off to mathematics. That's literally how to me, it's just sitting and jerking off to mathematics. It's not going to tell you what your traumas are. It's not going to tell you about your deepest fucking fears and how your childhood's fucking interactions with your peers or with your parents shaped who you are, which, by the way, is how it actually works. We grow up to be the way we are because we are a product of trauma. And I don't mean it necessarily in a literal sense. Does socionics talk about that? No, because it doesn't give a fuck about that. But we are products of our traumas, even when you don't realize it. And for an Enneagram 8, we think there's no traumas. Nah, nothing defines me. Yeah, I know what happened back in the day. It was tough, and yeah, it sucked, but I'm over that shit now, so I'm good. Well, you're not over that shit. Every single fucking thing that happened to you, you're fucking reenacting on that shit. You are I see it in your life in your patterns in your life.
Yeah,
That's
going
still.
back to your story, that SPA getting so mad about the drink. You think that's not related to that dude's childhood?
Do you that's my point. Do you think this guy got so upset because he thought, which by the way, from what I know, I wasn't sure. Because if I knew that the Pepsi was that this ILI took the Pepsi with him, as in he brought the Pepsi. He came to the party with Pepsi. Right? So it was his own. If I knew that, I would confront the situation. I would tell him to calm down, and because it's a false accusation. Don't do that. But I wasn't sure. I didn't know. I didn't see. But my wife said she thinks he came to the party with Pepsi, which means this guy was so neurotic about this concept of him taking it that when he couldn't find it, he instantly became so aggressive and antagonistic towards this one guy because he thought he fucking took it because he has it. So it must be it, even though it's probably nothing more than a creation of his own paranoia. And you think that person hasn't suffered in that way, that they're so sensitive? Why do you think social aids are so sensitive about betrayal? Why are they so sensitive about you being on their side, you supporting them and them supporting you? Why are they so fucking pressed about that? Why do they react so fucking strongly? Is it because that's who they are? No, it's because shit happened. They became so sensitive to that shit because of what they experienced in the social realm. And now, instead of fucking being coped about it, now they act with aggression. Oh, you betray me, I will fuck you over. That's the way they do it. That's the way they solve it. No one will take their stuff. The SP8 will fuck your shit up now. He can. He told himself very early on, no one's gonna abuse me. No one was gonna violate me and take things from me. I am an autonomous person. I'm my own person. And if anyone ever dares to take anything from me, I will fucking make sure they will pay a huge price. That's the commitment that this individual made to himself, knowingly or even unknowingly. So it's beautiful.
I think what you explained is really great. I know people were also asking, from my perspective. I want to keep it shorter. We are reaching closer and closer to the end of our stream, and I didn't want to talk about Social 7. We talk a lot about Social 7. I want to talk about the social instinct, and I will say, just from a more group perspective, right? I'm gonna give you like my cognition being a young person, probably around 8 to 10 years old, to moving to like my high school, and I think that kind of gives you like an idea behind it.
That's great.
8 to 10, being in elementary school, I was very quiet, very shy. I knew I wanted to do things with people, but I can always feel like there was like a barrier to doing that. I want to play with this group. It was like kindergarten. They had toys. I want to play with this group with my favorite toy and then be there, or moving into like late elementary school, where it's like, I understand these are my people, but this person in our group is acting up. I think we should say something because they're ruining the harmony of our group. And that was like a weird time. I actually confronted this person for the group, not for me, for the group, and that really fucked things up because what are elementary kids gonna do about a confrontation that way? But I was still quiet at the time, reserved, introverted. I think that people, if they typed me when I was young, I would have easily been like a social 5, no problem at all. I knew I wanted to be special. I wanted to be different. I wanted to stand out in some way, but it was very tough. I was always in my shell. In middle school, I actively decided I'm going to do something. I'm going to stand out. I'm going to, like a lot of people use like the word, be somebody, in the social sphere. And then I tried to be more extroverted. I tried to be funny. I was really not good at being funny. And I think, honestly, I was too nerdy and schizoid to be that loud, going from like this introverted person to trying to be extroverted in middle school. That was weird. But I feel like at the end of middle school, I got the hang of being a person who was relevant in the social sphere, getting people interested in me, and even seeing the inklings of influence, being like a leader in a social sphere as well. Those are things I started developing from the course of starting middle school to the end of middle school. Um, and definitely feeling the shame, guilt, frustration of not doing it right, not seeing having people see me the way I know I wanted to be seen. And then moving that into high school where I felt like I really became pretty good at influence, pretty good at standing out. I always had a hard time at that point fitting into social groups. And every time I'd find my people, just like Rust, I would get kicked out. I get ostracized. I get alienated. And from that point on, I moved the exact opposite way from like a social aids complicity, like a Rust, where I became more of like a quote unquote social sigma, where I didn't feel like I fit into any group. And every time I did fit into a group, it would always fall apart. I would get kicked out. I would be like mistreated. And so I never really had a crew, a group. I always wanted to have one, a group of people you could just do everything with,
Yeah.
but it always backfired. So I tend to be more schizoid and kind of go back to my original tendencies of being introverted. But
Yeah.
yeah, in high school, I became very much anti-group, but like super individualistic. So I could continue to have a presence, but not people couldn't like hurt me. And in college, same thing happened. I would be like super individualistic. I'd find a group, something would go wrong. It would feel like the worst thing ever. And that continued to happen until maybe the last 4 or 5 years of my life. I'm 28 right now. So I think at 24, 26, I started to reach more of an equilibrium. I have friends not because I wanted to look a certain way or be somebody in a certain particular sphere or to be special. I started to have friends because of a bond that doesn't transcends the idea of having a social profile or a social identity. It was just we know each other for a very long time. We can trust each other.
Mm.
And even then, it's been really tough because I feel like I have a more consistent friend relationships and friend groups, right?
Yeah,
But
yeah,
even
yeah.
then, I'm feel like, and I know that Russ can see this too. I gotta get, I grow it out. I need to expand. I need to be expansive. I feel the need, and this is where I really noticed. And it started in high school, and of course, you saw it in middle school too. I have a need to seduce social groups. I have a need to enter a group, charm everybody, achieve a particular position with them, have them depend on me, like a social too. And when I have that, then I'm like, is this enough? And I can't always answer that question with yes. So I always look outwards. I want to make a difference. I want to change the world. I want to be someone who genuinely affects the lives of others in a positive way. I don't want people to be bullied anymore. I don't want people to be hurt. And you can see how all that kind of came from this initial fixation of just wanting to belong. And that's social instinct, the desire to just belong.
That's crazy because a lot of what you said I was relating to actually, like
Hmm.
you were more shy and more introverted growing up. Same for me, like
Yeah.
when I was young, I was more, which is so interesting. You're a social subtype, right? But that's the thing with us. It's like we are in our shell when we're very young, but we're always constantly observing and we want to be part of what they're doing. We really want it, but there's also this you will get rejected, maybe you will not be accepted there, and there's
Yep.
all those things that will happen.
It's so scary.
Yeah,
It's anxiety inducing.
yeah,
I'm
it's
I'm
very
afraid
tough.
even now.
It's very tough, yeah, to be in that position. And I remember I was very, I think it's easier for people like SP types, especially because they're not very neurotic about that. To them, interactions with people and groups and it can be very fun. It can be very fun. And but for the social subtypes, that's kind of the core of their coping when they're growing up. It's very much an area of trouble, an area of their fixation. Which I wouldn't be surprised if many social subtypes are quite quiet growing up, more introverted or more shy because of this. And they don't yet know how to interact with the social sphere because they don't have the mechanisms that they do when they're adults. You know,
There's
of
there's so many popular subtypes too that are very popular in the social sphere without even being neurotic about others. The
exactly, yeah.
SP2 is an example of this.
Oh wow,
Um,
very very social, bubbly person. Like
yeah,
very much.
yeah. Uh,
Yeah.
SP3s are generally really popular because they're the hyper dependable people. Um, let's not forget SP4s generally have fuck tons of friends because everyone fucking loves them because they have that own the other problem. um, yeah, even fucking SP1s, that a lot of people like them because they're dependable, they're reliable, and some people. I feel that way too. Sometimes I like talking to people in the social sphere that don't make my problem the big problem, that you could just talk to them. They don't have an agenda with the social sphere. It's just, I'm here, unga bunga. You want to party, unga bunga? Please make
Yeah.
sure that my survival is not at stake, okay? And then it's nice, I feel that way with a lot of sexuals, sexual fours, in particular. I have a good relationship with them because they want to connect with you in a way that's not to show some sort of social control or social leverage and create this kind of weird arena of social influence. It's, I'm this way, I'm so authentically this way, I will literally like not fit into this group. And I'm like, oh, I can show you how you fit into this group. This is what you do, and then it feels like it works because I don't want to say two socials can't get along. Look at us. We're Typology Odyssey. We're the social Odyssey, okay?
Yes.
And we agree. We not just agree. We get along a
Yeah.
lot, even based off of very like different styles of social
We get along because I
mechanisms.
think a lot of our issues, which is funny, right? Because I'm creating
Uh-huh.
this, trying to create this actually intimate emotional experience with someone else based on like genuine shit, like traumas and fucking uh, experiences and stuff, right? So that goes
Mm-hmm.
just beyond the superficial. We know, I don't want to say superficial, but that goes beyond complicity. That's what I'm trying to say. It goes beyond complicity because we are relating to one another as a human being, relating to each other as humans. The troubles we experience and how we almost see parts of one another in each other, and that's kind of, yeah, that's helpful. That's makes it so interesting to talk to a person like this, to
Mm-hmm.
yeah, to be understood. I think at the end of the day, I think many people want that. Yeah.
Veronica, we're so sorry. You're talking to two SO instincts. We're always
Yeah.
talking about socials. We love talking about social because it's our experience as well. But I totally get it. It's tough, being a social seven and how meta that type is right now. I always tell people, let's not always talk about social seven, but I also partake in those discussions because I'm also social seven. So
Yeah.
it's like horrid. I hate it. I hope that another meta type comes out.
Don't
But
worry.
yeah, you're
Don't
right.
worry. It'll happen. You don't need to worry about that, my friend. The new
Like I
meta
can't
is
even.
gonna come, and that's gonna be day in and day out. We're gonna be talking about one thing and
I
one
love
thing
it.
only.
I'm waiting for that, so I can be like deep, mysterious, and different when I can
Yeah,
talk about social
yeah,
seven.
yeah. Okay, so someone was asking, how does being power hungry manifest in the Enneagram 2, Enneagram 3, and Enneagram 8?
Damn.
What you think about that?
I'm gonna try to keep it simple because you really could go and this could be a paper.
Yeah, we don't want papers.
I would say that depending on the subtype, right? This can vary. I'm going to try to be focusing on the core level, right? The E2 wants influence over others by performing services that others need. And they think that if others are indebted to them, they will get what they need. So their power comes from having a relationship of servitude. The E3, there's a lot of E3s are also like that, The E3 power hungriness comes from what ideals they've decided to adopt, standards from society that they think they deem to be the most successful, the most high value. And if it's a position of power, then that's how they can be power hungry. If it's to be more of like the Sigma consultant that had that, like it can really depend on how the E3 defines their standards, but they can be power hungry based off of that. And the E8 is power hungry. It comes from their own sense of rebellion and having autonomy. They feel like they know what's morally correct. They feel like they should be able to indulge in their lust, and they can desire power for power's sake
Yeah.
sometimes. But a lot of times they desire power because they want to enforce to others, very personally, often, that the way they're doing things is wrong, and and the E8's way is correct. But of course, this is different from the E1, where the E1 adopts and enforces societal standards. They are the intelligentsia. They are the intellectual authorities. E8s are not intellectual authorities. They are people who have their own street justice. Let's just say that their own justice that comes from them, and because of that, they can seek power to have control over themselves and others. And that way, that would be the fastest way to describe all three. It can only get more nuanced, and
If
that's
you
just the reality.
say aids are not intellectual authorities, people will say, yes, but look at how intellectual Rust is. He is an intellectual authority. He is a head type. He's a 7 core. Because he's interested about typology. He's making content and spreading knowledge about typology. What do you say to that?
I'll say that anyone who types you on anything that's social 8 has their own fan fiction of you. So
Damn,
that's like
Jesus
number
Christ.
one.
The guy who just
num-
went straight for the fucking ball sack. Damn. Okay, I guess that's it.
I just hope that I hope you're shirtless in their fan fiction too. Makes sense when they type you sexual too as well.
Damn. Okay. So okay. I guess that's that question got okay. That question got decapitated. Okay. Is seeking individual connections and group as a form of security part of the social sphere or the self-preservation sphere?
Great question. That's a great question. Do you want to take a stab at it, or do you want me?
Let me think. I kind of feel like it's more SP in this context, at least. I don't know why. Like maybe because taking individual as a group as a form of security. Like you can argue that every instinct does it for its survival. So
yes,
social creates relations for security, you know? So it's like, huh.
Just to break down this further, because this is a problem that a lot of people have, right? I say survival in lines with SP. This is the way the books also define it. Survival being more of a self-preservation, aka conservation thing. But when you talk about instinctual variants, they're your instincts. They're the way you sustain yourself at a fundamental level. It is the SPs that their fundamental level is a more physical, material survival, right? And in a very traditional sense of I need a home, and that home needs that fucking AC, and I need to be able to fucking eat. And if that shit starts getting fucked up, I'm getting fucked up. You know, they get really neurotic about it.
Yeah.
But this is the thing, like, okay, so are you saying that social instincts, like, they don't want to survive? No. Now, if we're going to use the word more survival more holistically to describe the intentions of the IV system, the socials feel that their sense of survival, how they preserve themselves, comes from a feeling of being stronger in a community. That if I connect to others, I establish a good position in my community, in my group, in society. There's safety in numbers. There's a safety with others. And it doesn't necessarily mean that now they're going to get fed, now they're going to have a home. It's literally almost seeing people as like a currency. Like, I have this person. I have people. I have my people. It literally ends at the people.
Yeah, you don't. It's not really about more people means I can fucking get more food. And more people equals more. No, it's like the people, as he says, become
exactly
the numbers. The strength comes in numbers, and that's literally it. That's kind of how this works, you know. Like the people become the currency of what it means to survive, but on an even sometimes more abstract, not literal level. Like, oh, now they'll help you survive, you know, because you don't fucking need them. You don't need to have those relations to survive. Just to have those relations for the sake of having those relations.
Yeah.
That doesn't ensure your true, like a literal survival. That doesn't at all, you know.
Yeah, if you put, like, for example, an SP7 in a group of people that are loyal to them, but they don't give them things that they need, you're going to see the SP7 become neurotic. they're going to stop maintaining those relationships. They'll start seeking relationships in which they get what they want, which at the end of the day is material things, experiences, knowledge, anything that ensures a traditional sense of survival. But a social 7, they're willing to forego a lot of their material needs. They're willing to look past it and do the sacrifice thing. And that is because having the backing of people as an end goal is the goal. It's not about having the material.
That's the final goal.
Yeah,
that's true. It's not like the final goal is actually because with people, I'm gonna be able to get X, Y, and fucking Z. No, people are the goal.
And we don't talk about sexual enough. Let's put sexual in there. For sexuals, it's that feeling. It's not one-to-one relationships.
Yeah,
sorry,
one-to-one
modern
relationships
Enneagram theorists
sexual.
It's sexual. Word sexual is good because it is an intensity. It is that connection. It is that feeling. It is energy. It is a desire. It is all those things that draw one towards someone and away from someone or something. It is that feeling.
I do admit sexual subtypes. Sexual it's confusing. It confuses me personally because it's like, I don't know. It's like some fucking abstract shit. Like you're fucking. What attracts you? What doesn't attract you? At least with the others is simple. Relationships, groups, humans who live and breathe. But then conservation, money, survival, fucking security, stability. It's simple. Then with the sexuals like repulsion, attraction, energy.
That's why it's so important to talk about it because let's do some theoretical statistics. That's 33% of the population, right?
Yeah.
And it's important to think about it because this is a form of preserving yourself as well. Just like having people with your backing, that is a form of, an instinct that survives. Having stability, having the materialism.
I genuinely don't understand how the fuck being sexual subtype, how the fuck is that gonna help you survive? Like, sexual 8 is a tyrannical, is at its most neurotic, a tyrannical possessor. He's not gonna create he will possess you and own you. He's not gonna fucking survive more likely. He's actually gonna get killed. He's gonna be the first 8 core who's gonna get decapitated because of this neurosis. So I don't understand how the fuck sexual subtypes even help them fucking survive. It's weird.
Well, here's the thing. The intensity is a driving mechanism. It in itself is an engine that causes sexual instinct fixated people to do and move and go. A lot of what you see in sexual instinct is an unfathomable desire for things. And we always say if there's a will, there's a way. Well, sexual instinct defines that. I think honestly the best as people who truly desire stuff, and because of that they move towards it. They go through obstacles. They become fighters for what they want. And because you have someone who's so attracted to that type of energy and is so willing to manifest it, you have people that survive based off of that feeling of going towards what they desire. Let's look at the sexual 5, right? The sexual 5 is someone who idealizes the other and causes relationships, unequal relationships, where others are attracted to them, they possess them, they get things out of that. That other person becomes their cave. Sure, they're chronically frustrated about their quote unquote people cave, the other cave, but now they have this. They have someone providing for them. Think about the sexual 4, right? This probably the most hated fucking type in the Enneagram. The sexual 4 is someone who defines themselves extremely well by knowing what they want, knowing who they are, having a very particular energy that attracts others to them. They are able to work towards what they want because they feel such an intense desire for it. They can be possessive, just like the sexual 8, and that possession is a good thing for them. It's bad for others, but possessing other people, being invasive, is not necessarily a great strategy to survive. To have these things, to own them, I think that is. To seduce others, to have them under you, to be merged with them, to have such an intense connection that they become part of you. Is that not a way to survive in this world?
I mean, if some Giga Chadwick who's gonna protect you, maybe in that case, maybe. But the fuck, a sexual 8 merges with a chick. How is she gonna fucking help his ass?
Well, the same reason why an SP7 would and not SP7. I don't want to say take away SP7. SP8 would, and the same way a social 8 would. They all want to do lust at the end of the day. The SP8 will gather the materials and have their big thoughts about rebelling against society. The social 8 will gather their people and have this big thoughts about society and whatever, because they're all E8s at the end of the day, but even bigger because they're social. But then the sexual 8 is someone who is going to be drawn to people, things, places, and own them and have them and subjugate them. There was no one that subject. It is it and just like how the socials, I was talking earlier about the social 7 becoming the best version, no, the best demonstration of rationalization and self-indulgence. The sexual 8 becomes the best example of counter interjection and subjugation. True lust, someone who takes what they want and will disregard petty rules, will disregard this feeling of, oh my god, if I'm not gonna eat one day, am I gonna fucking die? This is a person who truly sees what they want, takes it, lives that life, and guess what? The sexual 8 doesn't want things that other people don't want. They want food, they want sex, they want to indulge themselves in art, money, music. They take what they want. The merging with the things that they like is an engine that allows them to get what they want.
Wow.
Just because we're socials, right? Just because we have people behind us, did that ensure that these people didn't betray us or these people gave us what we needed? Yeah, okay, people like us, but does it ensure our survival?
To be honest, I think we go back fucked more than anyone else.
Yeah, because we put ourselves out there. Sexuals don't feel the need to put themselves out there. They only go for what they want. They're searching
also
for
because I would assume they're more selective. They're much more selective. But
yes,
so
I think that seeking to merge with others, being invasive, being possessive, looking for things that you truly like, and ignoring the rest, is that not really a way to survive? I think it is. I think it's underrated.
That was an amazing note to end the stream on, I think.
Absolutely.
I think so, because it's time. And then, wow. You gave some sexual 4 and sexual 8 love on the stream right now.
Someone got to.
Wow. Sorry, guys. And I was there like throwing a full-blown smirk in pain. The fuck's the point of the sexual subtypes? It's like, no, it makes sense the way you described it. I completely missed the point. Yeah, fuck.
No, I'm happy you're talking about it, because you know what? Most people believe what you did. This is not a Rust problem. This is
This is not a Rust problem. It's just Rust is part of the problem, which is literally just most morons believe this, and you believe this also.
No, that's not what I was saying.
Rust, do you think? No, I do not believe SCI fits SP9. SP9 is a very emotionally stunted type. SLI. Now, the questions aside, guys, it's time for us to leave. Again, right? How many people were watching? Do we know?
We were at max 55, and then on average 40 to 50.
55. Not bad. You guys should do better next time. I'm thinking 60 plus to 70. Yeah. Invite your mom. Invite your grandma. Invite your dog. I don't give a fuck, seriously. Even your dog watching, it will count as a fucking number. As a boom boom. Okay? So.
And speaking of a number, for all you watching, this is important before you tune out. This Sunday, 2 p.m. EST, 8 p.m. CET, right? We're going to be doing another stream. I want to see you all there again.
Yeah,
you guys are great company.
Don't fuck up. I'm watching you. Fuck up. You think you're gonna walk into the Rusted Nation and just fucking leave whenever you want? So you think it's a brothel? You think you come in and go whenever you want? No. Every stream you're gonna be fucking active. Every stream you're gonna like. You're gonna tell your friends about it. But make sure they're not fucking degenerates, because if they're fucking degenerates, you become a degenerate. And by association, there's gonna be decapitation by association. So make sure to know that.
We'll see you all there.
I'm just having fun. I'm just having fun. Okay, this is like fun. listen,
we should do a challenge. If we do get 100 viewers, we should do something like an actual challenge.
if we're gonna have 100 viewers, we're gonna drink alcohol.
Oh, we do a drunk stream? Get the fuck out of here. That'd be so funny. Yo,
That's gonna
there'd
be
be so
really
many clippable
bad.
moments.
That's gonna be really fucking
So
bad.
many clippable moments.
Yeah, many clippable moments. Yeah, that sounds just what's gonna happen. Exactly. Wow. Yeah, man. Yeah. It's easy for you to say. They can just hear your voice. They'll be like, "Oh wow, he's so cute. He's so adorable. Like, look at him. He's so funny." I'm gonna be half
silly
naked.
guy.
I'm gonna be half naked. I'm gonna be dancing on the fucking on the table. Like, I'm the one suffering from the exposure here. Oh. Yeah, but maybe maybe we can do a bit of that kind of like drink with R&R. You know, like drink with R&R.
Yes.
Yo, what if we all fucking drink? Social
my
subtype.
God.
You know what I'm saying? Like, we all fucking drink.
Bro,
guys, seriously, if we were to reach like 100 fucking like actual like legit 100 people, maybe not 100, that's too much, but like maybe 80, we could all make a day where we will get fucked up. Like, everyone in the stream is gonna be fucked up. Like, mass fuck. Like, can you imagine a stream where I've never seen this happen? Like, everyone in the stream is fucking cooked,
blasted,
bro.
Yeah,
like,
that'd be so much fun.
It has never been done in Typology, and no one would ever be able to replicate it. Wow, bro, what the fuck? Melly, I don't drink. Well, then smoke. Melly, come on, there are many substances for you to abuse.
Yes. Find one that works with your moral code. I'll help you.
That's true, 7 core. How about 5 viewers and they will get fucked up? Seems high enough, but
no.
Bro, I had 5 viewers like years ago. No, but guys, a drunk SPV will be vomiting all over the place. Let's smoke weed. The thing with smoke weed, if I smoke it, I won't remember what I said or anything that I did 10 seconds ago. So I can, who knows, you know, like, I don't remember, and I'm not sure if that's good. Okay, shot for every viewer. Oh my god, yo, we could do it, but we should do it after after 60 views. There's a shot after. No, that's fucked up. We would be fucked. We would be. And I don't actually enjoy feeling wasted. I don't enjoy vomiting. I don't enjoy feeling fucking sick. Jesus. Shot every 10 viewers. That's doable. But not vodka. Vodka is too much. That's too much. Because we'll take 2-3 shots. No, but okay, guys, enough. Rusted Nation, decapitation. Remember, we're taking over. The RR Typology Odyssey. He's a fucking alcoholic. He's an alcoholic. Don't listen to him, okay, guys? Remember, alcohol is not alcohol. Everything in moderation, guys, okay? Listen to the Enneagram 8. Everything in moderation. Yeah. Anyway, so bye-bye, guys. It was nice talking to you all. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.